Hello YouTube. I want to show you guys today probably one of the coolest, I'm going to say this is the coolest thing I've ever built or created thus far. And I've done a lot of really neat stuff, but this one I'm actually really proud of and I'm really excited about. Now I know you guys are thinking, you know, what's so great? It's a Nintendo. Yeah, this is a Nintendo. This is original NES. I got one off eBay. So my story is I got one off of eBay and the case was cracked and I didn't know if I was gonna win the auction, so I bid on a couple more. Long story short, I have a couple of these now, but this is the one that I've modified extensively. So as you can see, this is a regular NES. Still has the cartridge door, still has the cartridge slot insert. If you can see the front, you'll notice it still has, it's all original. There's nothing that's been modified on the outside. Power button's still there, reset button's still there, original NES plugs are still there, with a small exception, and you can see the bottom is all original as well. Now on this side, if you can see, this part here is sealed up. Now, I have a plan for this, but for now it's sealed up and color matched to the original NES gray here. Not going to do anything with it for right now, but there is a plan for this. But you can see I sealed it up. Now you're going to ask why I sealed it up. And the answer as to why I sealed it up is actually on this side of the system. So let's turn this around a little bit more. And you can see what I've done here. So all of this is original with the exception of this area here. Now if you guys can't see, the original area here had a power plug, I think auxiliary, honestly I can't remember what the hell was here. Anyways, in here you can now see it's been plastic welded and colored to match the original plastic. But right there is an HDMI port. Right there is a micro USB input. And here's a USB input. Now again, you're asking, well, I've seen a lot of HDMI mods, I've seen a lot of NES mods, I've seen a lot of these, whatever, big deal, you know, great. Now, nothing else has changed. I mean, everything else is original. I mean, it's even got the plastic for the port here. So, I mean, it's a regular system on the outside, with the exception of this modification here and this modification here. Now, you'll also note I have two NES controllers here. And a keyboard. So the NES controllers are not original. They're not original to this system. They're not original NES controllers. These are actually remanufactured NES USB controllers. Both of them. Now, what's a little different about these USB controllers is they have the original NES plug. Now, don't ask me where you can buy these, because if you can, I don't know. These were made specifically for this system. Both these controllers have the original NES plugs, controller plugs. 6-foot cords, and they both fit nicely into the original NES controller ports. Now, you're probably asking, well, why? Why would you do all that work, just buy a regular NES controller? Well, the secret is, it's not what's on the outside, it's what's on the inside. So, on the inside of this system is a Mod Podge of wires, connectors, hacks, and just a bunch of other, you know, crazy stuff. Because what I did is I fit a brand new Raspberry Pi 3 running RetroPie into the system. Now, before you say, oh, I've seen that before, this system, one, isn't like the other mods, because I've seen other mods, and what they do is they put USB plugs here. This doesn't have USB plugs. The USB plug I put is back here. Now, the RetroPie has 4 USB options. The first 2 are allocated to these controllers. The third one is allocated to this keyboard. It's an HP wireless keyboard. I also have a PlayStation 3 controller that's connected to it, but you know, that's not as fancy or cool as having an NES. Now, another thing you're saying, wow, big deal, you know, everybody does it. You know, I've seen guys that do it and they just plug, you know, press the power button and the system turns on. Well, mine doesn't. If you were to plug this in, and the micro USB on the back, by the way, is used for this, for the micro USB power. So that's power in here, HDMI out, USB in. So another thing that you're gonna say, like I said, is people, you know, they press the power button, it works, blah, blah, blah. That's not fun. Well, mine doesn't work if you press the power button. Now it's not, granted it's not plugged in right now, but I'll show you what it does when it's plugged in. It's actually hardwired into the power, but the key is actually here in the cartridge slot. A lot of guys who do this mod either get rid of this cartridge slot, put something weird here, or they'll mount the Raspberry Pi some weird spot, leave it here because they can't fit it in. Mine was actually fitted underneath the cartridge slot, and because I spent so much time on it, I really don't want to take it apart and show you guys the insides. I know people are going to be pissed off about it, but if you guys have questions, feel free to ask. But it took a lot of work, including chopping up a micro USB cable, finding a flat ribbon, not a flat HDMI, but a flat ribbon HDMI on PCBs. You know, right angle 3.0 USB inputs. I mean, it did take quite a bit of work. Now, the key though is this cartridge here. It's not, don't freak out. This isn't a Zelda cartridge. This is just, it's an old, I have no idea, remember what this was. I just painted it gold because I wanted it to be the key cartridge. But as you can see, this is my key cartridge. So the key to this cartridge is this system won't work without it. And it's a normal cartridge. Nothing's been altered. You could plug this into an old NES and you can still play the game, whatever was on it, because I don't remember what it was off the top of my head. But this cartridge works to turn this system on. So it's a two-part process, just like the old NES. You slide the cartridge in, goes all the way in, and then you push down. Then you can press the power button and it'll turn on. If you don't do that, the system won't turn on. It won't run, it won't function. That's just how it is. Oh, and the LED indicator, it works, yes. It's connected to the Pi, it indicates when the system's on, and when you do a safe shutdown, it turns off. So, like I said, cartridge has to be inserted in order for this system to work. It was kind of my own little Easter egg, my own kind of little, I don't want people messing with it unless they have or know the ins and out of it. So, that's how I did it. I'm sure a lot of people do it different, but I'm going to show you this thing how it works when it's powered on and when the cartridge is in. So you can see that it ain't going to work unless the cartridge is in. All right. Okay, so now I have the NES hooked up. It's hooked up to HDMI, it's hooked up to power. So you guys can see me powering up the system. Got the controllers on top of the system so you can see that there's no funny business with that. They're also plugged in. So, no cartridge inside. Let's hit the power. Nothing. Alright, turn it off. Now, let's force this switch down. So it thinks, let's say that someone thought I was being shifty and that they were cleverer than me. So I put the cartridge slot down, you guys can see, and I'm going to turn it on, see what it does. Still nothing. Okay, turn it off. Flip the cartridge slot back up. Now let's take my NES-PIE. Yeah, I spelled it that way for a reason. And let's insert the key cartridge. Okay, it's in. Ah, but you say, what if you could just stick the cartridge in and turn it on? All right. Nothing. Still nothing. Turn it off again. Okay, now let's do it the right way. Push down on the cartridge, insert it into the NES. Let's close the door. The door's not the key, by the way. Hey, you know what? Let's just boot it up, just so you know. Let's turn it on. And there it is. NES running. So let's see if it goes on. Let's see how long it takes. I think I gotta change it to my HDMI 3 on my TV. And there it is. RetroPie on my TV. So, as you can see, everything works. I'm just gonna grab one of the controllers. Hopefully I grab player 1. But either controller would have worked. So I have it here. Let's scroll through here. Let's find Nintendo. Let's see here. You know what? Let's find Contra. Contra is an easier 2-player, so you guys can see it. So here's Contra. These are the Japanese versions. Japanese still. I think this is the European version. So here's Contra. Sorry if I don't have the sound on, my sound bar is not on. But you know what? Again, for the naysayers, just because not everyone can be happy. So let's go to the start screen. 2-player. Stage 1. And I will have both controllers here. So jump, jump. And so now you see my NES-PIE running Contra on an original Nintendo, modified to run Raspberry Pi and RetroPie. And yeah, I love it. It's the closest thing to an original Nintendo, but I have so many other options. So it's great. It's great. It really is. So if you can see, right now it's doing a shut off and the light's off. See the light off? That means the Raspberry Pi is okay to turn off, and we'll go ahead and turn it off. So hit the power and we'll eject the key cartridge. And that's it. That's my NES-PIE. Thank you guys for watching, and if you have any questions or comments, please hit me up and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Alright, have a great day. Peace out.